My husband tricked me into getting a divorce because his mistress is pregnant. I looked at the liver cancer diagnosis and the early pregnancy test in my hand and sighed with relief. The liver cancer is his. The child belongs to his good buddy. To keep me from getting suspicious, my husband gave me the house and the savings. I looked at him sympathetically. Aren't you afraid I'll take this seriously? He smiled gently. I can accept that. I shook my head. What a pity. I turned around and married his good buddy. He couldn't believe it. Babe, don't you love me anymore? I covered my wallet. Don't try to swindle me. I'm not your wife anymore. I don't owe you anything. My husband Leo is gentle and caring, super good to me. But that didn't stop him from cheating with his junior, Tina. When I first found out, it felt like my world collapsed. But Leo works in investment banking, makes $100,000 a month. Considering all that, it was hard to let go. Plus, he's got a good buddy who's a rich kid. Handsome and polite. I quite liked him before. Since I was already married to Leo, I could only think about it. After finding out about Leo's affair, I no longer felt bound by morality. Leo's buddy is named Harry and he's Leo's colleague. They work on projects, or when Leo gets drunk, it's always Harry who brings him back. Leo's affair came to light because one time Harry brought a drunken Leo back. He told me with a meaningful look, "You should go out with Leo more often, or no man can resist temptation." After settling Leo into the bedroom, he left. But I quickly chased after him to ask, "What do you mean? Speak clearly." Harry had no choice but to show me intimate photos of Leo and his junior. She started flirting with him back in college. But Leo stayed with me, so I didn't pay attention. I checked Leo's phone. His main social media had no evidence. But he had a secret account hidden in a bunch of apps. They often shared explicit, private photos. I recorded all their chats. Thought about making a public presentation to expose them, but it seemed too easy on him. Plus, he's such a money maker, I was reluctant. I found out about Leo's affair 2 months ago. I've been dragging it out. In the meantime, Harry has shown me unusual concern. One time, he brought Leo back. Leo was deeply drunk again. We got Leo to bed with some effort. I was struggling to undress him. Suddenly, I felt a hand on my waist. Then a warm body leaned over me. I was startled and whispered, "What are you doing?" Harry hugged me and softly said, "I've liked you for a long time, can't you tell?" I struggled, "Let go of me first." Leo cheated, why stay with him? I'm younger, richer, I don't cheat. Be with me, and I'll treat you well. Deal? I was about to refuse, but he kissed me first. Married to Leo for 3 years, we're hardly intimate now. Once a month, and rarely kissing. Before, I thought Leo was drained by work. Later I realized it was his junior that drained him. Harry's warm, sticky kiss made me restless. With Leo asleep beside us, it felt more exciting, but I steeled myself and slapped him. Get lost. He held his face, blushing, and left. On the weekend, a new tenant moved upstairs. Turned out to be Harry. He just graduated, joined the bank. Cheerfully told us about his move. Said we'll be neighbors now. Leo was clueless. Soon after, Leo said he had to work overtime. When Leo left, Harry knocked on the door. He said, he's off to see Tina again. I asked, how do you know? He clicked his tongue and showed me a photo. Sent by Tina. Why'd she send it to you? She wanted to hook up with me. I refused, so she shared it to prove she's got plenty of guys. I rolled my eyes and went to close the door. But he held it open and came in. Hugged me tight. My face flushed and heart raced. He's betraying you, why stay loyal? I pushed against his chest, watch yourself, or I'll call the cops. Don't tell me you're not into me, why else sneak peeks? I bit my lip, quietly said, how do I know you're not here on Leo's orders to trap me, then use my infidelity against me for a divorce? His charming face showed surprise, then he laughed, you think this is a TV drama? I snorted. He immediately picked me up, threw me onto the couch, pinned my struggling hands above my head. He chuckled, how about I give you leverage? After, you can report me for assault, okay? He started kissing me, and I struggled. After a moment, he asked, no surveillance here, right? I shook my head. Probably not. But he got up, opened an app, and checked around. I watched him, disheveled and flushed. I wanted it too. Haven't been with Leo in a long while. Like a widow in waiting. I'm still under 30. But I have needs too. He finished checking and pounced on me again. While he was taking my pants off, I stopped him. He thought I was playing, but I asked, do you have a health report? He deflated. Cursed and pulled out his phone, showing me a health report. But it was from a month ago. I wasn't entirely convinced. He left saying he'd get tested. Left faster than Leo. His charming face kept flashing in my mind. His warm breath. And the fish-like kisses on my skin. I changed into new pants. I kind of understood Leo now. It felt really good. After 3 years of marriage, the spark between us is long gone. I hadn't felt this excited or thrilled in ages. In the afternoon, Harry came over again. He was even in a suit. While I was looking at some reports, he pulled off his tie and tied my hands. As he kissed me, he asked, feel more secure now? I weakly protested, no. That just seemed to excite him even more, his eyes practically bloodshot. Afterward, he held me as we lay in my and Leo's marital bed. I felt a bit on edge. What if Leo came back? Harry picked up his phone and reassured me, he's not back. They're still at the hot spring. I calmly nodded. I began kissing Harry again. I wanted more. When Leo returned, he looked exhausted. I showed concern. Leo, you don't look well. Feeling sick? I saw a message from Tina to Harry. Leo often took pills to make the most of his outings, which is also why things at home were dull, just a monthly routine, lacking excitement. Leo awkwardly replied, just a lot of overtime, a bit tired. I suggested he rest more and poured him a glass of water. Then I took out the bed sheets to dry. They were marked up from the afternoon and needed washing. Leo was back to his work and socializing routine, drinking heavily at least 3 times a week, barely conscious each time. Harry would bring him home. I would undress Leo while Harry undressed me. Sometimes, looking at Leo's face got me anxious, but Harry was thrilled. I was starting to crave it. Leo was scheduled to be away on a 2-week business trip, which was pretty normal given his projects. I moved into Harry's place, just a floor up, and spent that time with him. Surprisingly, my resentment toward Leo decreased. I used to hate him for betraying me, but now I understood. Married life was dreadfully boring. And life's too short to be tied to just one person, right? With both Leo and a lover, my attention was divided, and Leo wouldn't feel overwhelmed by my love. Leo must be thinking the same since he trusted me with his salary card, depositing our money into a joint account under my name. 2 months passed. Leo seemed to have worn himself out. His health visibly declined. Just then, Maria handed me a health checkup discount. Though Leo hadn't shared our bed recently, his escapades warranted a checkup. So, I made him go. Before we got the results, Harry showed me a message from Tina, interested in playing with a pregnant woman? I'm pregnant. I bit my nail, feeling anxious. Leo's not easy to replace as a financial backer. Harry's just fun, he wouldn't take responsibility. If Tina was pregnant, would Leo divorce me? While pondering my next move, the hospital called with bad news about Leo's health report, possible liver cancer, requiring further diagnosis given his drinking and smoking habits. It seemed likely. Feeling nauseous from the shock, Maria sympathetically commented, "Don't end up with Leo having cancer and you getting pregnant." Frowning, I bought a test and discovered I was indeed pregnant. Maria advised bluntly, "Don't blame me, but that child shouldn't be born. Leo's on borrowed time, and a single mom has enough on her plate. Plus, with Leo's likely cancer, the baby could have a genetic predisposition. Startled, I called Harry. His charming voice answered, "Miss me already?" I asked if anyone in his family had cancer. His pause reassured me, "Nope, my grandpa died at 80, grandma at 79, and both other grandparents are still kicking. But should we all get a checkup just to sleep with you?" I chuckled and confirmed, none of his other relatives had cancer. Harry joked about meeting his family, but I dismissed it playfully and hung up. Maria watched, dumbfounded. I smiled, saying, "The baby's dad is healthy. He showed me his health report recently." Impressed, Maria praised my strategy. Despite Harry's questionable morals, his looks and education were solid enough for me. And with Leo's situation, I could leverage marriage with Harry for financial security. Yet, I had no intentions of caring for Leo or living with him. Too ominous, too much pressure. Back home, still mulling over my strategy, Leo eagerly approached me. Holding my hand, he exclaimed about a corporate housing deal offering discounts to single employees. Our housing benefits were maxed out with 2 properties we owned and a hefty mortgage of $30,000 monthly. My meager $9,000 salary wouldn't cover it if Leo left. Excited, Leo proposed a strategic move, temporary divorce to transfer assets to my name, so he could secure another discounted property. Stunned by his focus on money while facing mortality, I questioned, "Are you trying to trick me into a real divorce?" Leo reassured, "Why would I do that? I'm leaving everything to you, that's proof enough, right?" Still, I hesitated to believe him. In the evening, I gave Leo the red wine that Maria had gifted me. He was out like a light again. I grabbed his phone and unlocked it. That's when I discovered the truth. Tina had texted him, "I'm pregnant, and you're not going to marry me? What's so special about that woman, other than her spending your money? She only earns $9,000 a month. If we get married, our household income will be over $2 million immediately. You're about to get promoted with a $30,000 monthly salary. Do you want her to split the assets with you? Leo's getting a promotion and raise? He's really capable. Man, I envy him. Such a high salary. If I were him, I'd choose Tina too. Besides, we can have fun together, and her salary completely trumps mine. I guess Leo does care about me a little, since he didn't divorce me right away." Leo didn't respond. Tina continued, "My baby can't be illegitimate, or I'd die of embarrassment. If you don't marry me, I'll make a PPT about the things you've done and email it to the company." Because of this threat, Leo decided to appease Tina by faking a divorce with me and marrying her. I checked his search history and found that he'd looked up how to buy fake documents. I wasn't sure if he wanted to use those to fool Tina or me. The next day, Leo brought up the topic again and even had Harry come over to persuade me. He said that house their company's client was selling was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I still didn't want to get divorced. Leo said he'd give me the house and savings, promising not to deceive me. Reluctantly, I nodded. We wrote up an agreement, went to the Civil Affairs Bureau, and got our divorce papers. Leo said to make it convincing, he'd move into the company's bachelor apartment. I took his hand. "Leo, you won't abandon me, will you?" I looked pitiful. "I know I don't earn money or make you happy like the other women, Leo, but I truly love you." Leo hugged me, gently caressing my face. "Those women outside are so materialistic and superficial. How could they compare to you, who are pure and kind? Once I earn some money, I'll buy you a purse." I nodded. Leo moved out. Harry sent me a screenshot. It was a message from Tina to him. We got married. Leo had gotten a marriage certificate with Tina that same afternoon. I put my medical report in my bag, ready to take it to Leo's office. "And Harry, I've got to find a way to marry him. How else would I pay my mortgage? Though Leo cheated, he's been pretty decent to me. I still can't hide his medical condition from him. Also, now he has a new wife, they can face the health issues together, amplifying the greatness of love. I need to give them that chance. As for Harry, I haven't thought of a solid plan yet." The day after the divorce, I went to Leo's office. I had a lunchbox with me. Then I saw Leo and Tina walking out arm in arm. My lunchbox fell with a loud thud to the ground. The sound was so loud that it drew a lot of attention. My tears flowed like a broken string of pearls. Leo immediately pushed Tina's arm away and called out to me in a panic, "Rena." I stepped back, shaking my head. "Are you?" "Listen to me, I can explain." "What's there to explain?" Tina's strong voice cut in. "You two are already divorced." Tina stared at me coldly. "Leo is my husband now, so I hope you respect that. Don't play the mistress. Stay out of our marriage." Harry scratched his head and said to me, "Leo did get married yesterday afternoon. Now he really is someone else's husband, so try to move on." I looked at Leo persistently. "Leo, didn't you say it was just a fake divorce and that we'd remarry?" Tina scoffed. "If he didn't lie to you like this, you'd still be clinging to him like a leech." "Enough!" Leo shouted, sternly admonishing Tina. He then took me to a corner. Leo said, "I'm sorry, but that woman Tina, she took advantage of me when I was drunk, and we got together. She's pregnant with my child, and if I don't take responsibility, she'll ruin my reputation. I had no choice but to marry her." "Sweetheart, you have to believe me, I only love you." I sniffled. "Really?" He nodded. "If I didn't truly care for you, why would I give you the house and all the savings?" "Well, you have a child with someone else. Once she has the baby, I'll divorce her and remarry you. I'm just trying to keep her calm so we suffer the least loss. You've always been so understanding, you have to understand my struggles." I expressed my understanding. Leo took me back over and gave Tina a warning look. With a dignified demeanor, I said to Tina, "Tina, thank you for having Leo's child, and thank you for taking care of his needs when he was busy with work. For the sake of the child, I'm willing to step aside. You must take good care of Leo. When he's drunk, help him undress and clean up. He likes sandwiches and milk in the morning, and he usually likes spicy food, but don't." I listed a lot of things about Leo's daily preferences. By this point, the people around us were stunned, praising my understanding and grace. "And if you're ever too busy," I continued, "I can take you to checkups or help out post-birth too. Leo's child is my child too." Leo looked at me tenderly. I looked back. Tina couldn't take it anymore. "Rena, have you no shame? Leo is mine now. You two are divorced. Also, you're way too clingy. Can't you live without him? I don't want to see you, get lost." I felt very aggrieved. Leo spoke angrily. "Tina, watch your tone." Tina tried to rush over and hit me. I got scared and quickly hid behind Harry. Leo went to stop Tina and even slapped her. "Have you had enough of this tantrum? You're making a fool of yourself." Harry stroked his chin, watching the drama, saying to me, "Honestly, I can't even tell who the real wife and who the mistress is right now." After everything calmed down, I said, "Well, Leo, you should live well with Tina. She's a contributor to our family, you know, providing us with a descendant." I turned to Tina. "Thank you for having a child with my ex-husband." I shook my head and sighed. "Don't argue over me, please. I'm stepping aside. I don't want anyone fighting because of me. It would break my heart." Someone nearby said, "I haven't seen such an understanding and gracious woman in a long time. Why did Leo give up on such a sweet woman anyway?" Leo didn't give her up. She's devoted to Leo for life, even if she doesn't have a title. In the future, Leo's basically got it all made. I wouldn't be surprised. That was probably his plan all along. Leo looked at me with a mix of guilt and sadness. I pulled out his medical report from my bag and said gently, "Leo, your test results are here. I brought them for you, haven't even looked at them myself. You know, I used to look at these with you. That privilege now belongs to someone else." He took it, looking dumbstruck. I gave him a hug and said, "I'm leaving." Then I walked away, leaving everyone with a lasting impression of me. Harry quickly said, "Leo, I'll see her off." While I was hailing a cab, Harry jumped in with me. He hugged and started to kiss me. I pushed him away. What are you doing? He said desperately, I missed you so much. The driver looked at us with obvious disgust. I started crying. What kind of person are you? I just got divorced and you're like this. He hugged me soothingly. Don't cry, don't cry. You still have me, right? Back home, he pushed me onto the couch, all ready to get frisky. I half-heartedly pushed him away. Take it easy. A few days went by, but I still didn't know how to get Harry to marry me. He seemed to really like me. But I felt he was into the whole married woman thing. I still didn't have an answer. Leo called me again. He sounded exhausted. Babe, I'm at the hospital. Can you come see me? I was surprised he was calling now. He sounded low. I've got liver cancer. I gasped and quickly asked, how did this happen? Leo replied, if it wasn't for you getting me to go for a checkup, I wouldn't have found out. Can you visit me? I hesitated. It's not that I don't want to, but I'm pregnant now. It's not great to be around all that hospital radiation. You're pregnant? His voice was filled with disbelief. Haven't we not been together for months? How are you pregnant? I swim a lot. Maybe it's something with the pool. I hung up and turned off my phone. I picked up the tablet to play. The door opened again. I was living at Harry's place. I asked, why are you back? He looked at me in disbelief and asked, you're pregnant? I could only note he said, this baby's yours. Leo and I haven't been together in ages. He said, no wonder you asked about my family medical history the other day. I hugged him and said softly, Harry, let's get married. Give the baby a home. I promise to be a good wife. Do whatever you want outside, I won't interfere. As long as the money comes home. He looked at me curiously, then laughed. Such a charming smile. All right, let's get married. I wanted to hurry up and register our marriage to avoid any last-minute changes. After all, he looked like he had money. But I was also afraid he might be all show and no substance. So, I found Maria and arranged a gathering for us all. Maria said to Harry, Rena's mom died in a car crash, Dad remarried, and she got mistreated by her dad and stepmom. Then Leo betrayed her. She's had it rough. You have to treat her well. Harry nodded obediently. I will always treat her well. Then he held my hand, looking all affectionate. I looked back at him with the same expression. Maria added, Rena has no one to back her up. I have to look out for her when it comes to marriage. Rena's so pure-hearted, doesn't care about anything. But here's the truth, women lose a lot in marriage, especially with the cost of having kids. Men only get pleasure. I'm not a fan of Rena getting married, especially after the betrayal she faced before. But she's head over heels in love with you and won't marry anyone else. I fear you might betray her too. Considering your character. Maria looked at him skeptically. I quickly chimed in, don't say that about him. He's just swept away by emotions. Our love is real. Harry nodded eagerly, I will treat Rena right from now on. Maria glanced at me, frustrated, you're not even married yet, and you're acting so naive. I'm not naive. I just love Harry. I snuggled up to Harry, looking sweetly at Maria. Maria pointed at me and said to Harry, she's a fool. I just can't trust her, so many things she wouldn't think of. Let's discuss the wedding, for her sake. By the way, how much are you planning for the bride price? Harry hesitantly looked at me. I said, I don't care about the bride price, I just care about you. Maria gave a stern look, then I don't agree with this marriage. I pouted, how can you disagree? Harry looked at me, then at Maria, 88,000? Would that work? I don't have much cash on me. I felt touched. When I married Leo, it was only 38,000. And now, I'm worth more even though I'm a second-time bride. He really must love married women. Maria covered her mouth, smiled at me knowingly, we're not after money, but sincerity. Since the bride price is settled, in the future, your salary? Your salary will be handed over. We quickly went and registered the marriage to avoid any last-minute issues. I got the bride price and his salary card. Although he doesn't earn as much as my ex, he probably has better odds of living longer. After getting the marriage license, he finally introduced me to his parents. He hid the fact that I was previously married and said I was pregnant. Then, with my stable job, even if the pay wasn't great, as a teacher with time to care for the family, he was accepted, albeit with a pinch of reluctance. Then, they insisted on planning the wedding before my belly got too big. Unexpectedly, Leo came to find me again. He looked gaunt and unrecognizable. My eyes watered immediately, pained to see him like this. Leo, what happened to you? Leo's initial anger softened at once. His eyes turned red. I miss you so much. Don't you want me anymore? I bit my lip. It's not that I don't want you, but you've married Tina. How can I? He replied, I've divorced her. When she found out I had liver cancer, she aborted the baby. How could she do that? At a time when you needed her the most, she left you. I said angrily, thinking all along she was a good person. My wife, he pleaded, come back to me. I don't have much time left. I know you're the only one who truly loves me. I want to spend my last days with you. Just as he was speaking, the elevator opened, and Harry came out. Harry saw Leo and greeted him enthusiastically. Leo, are you feeling any better? Leo frowned. What are you doing here? The apartment upstairs is being renovated, so I'm staying here temporarily. Leo said, congratulations on getting married. He looked at me. Did you rent out the apartment? Are you that short on money? Can't you pay the mortgage? I can't earn money right now. Why don't you sell a house? Leo suggested. The doctor says there's a miracle drug, and I need money. I looked at him in shock. A miracle drug for a terminal illness? I didn't have the heart to tell him he'd be wasting money, especially when most of it was his. You can't pay the mortgage? Harry asked, confused. Didn't I give you my debit card? Still not enough? I'll ask my parents to lend me some money and cover your balance. He then turned to Leo. Hey, come in for a chat. Leo's expression froze. He looked like he'd been struck by lightning. He stammered, what? What's your relationship? Harry sweetly held my hand and said, Leo, we're married. It's official. By the way, our wedding's next month. You're the matchmaker, so you have to join us. Leo spat out blood and fainted. I called him an ambulance. Watching the ambulance speed away, I sighed, nothing's more important than health. Yet, it wasn't over with Leo. He called me, without a hint of love, Rena, since when were you involved with Harry? I misjudged you. I said, feeling wronged. Leo, I left because I was so lonely. Harry comforted me. I admit, I shouldn't have betrayed you, but I truly love him. True love isn't a crime. He started coughing violently. Give me back my money. The savings and the house are mine. The divorce agreement is clear. I can't betray that. I'm not like you. You make promises and then break them. I'm not that kind of person. I hung up, feeling righteous, then hugged Harry and said, hurt. He hurt me and now wants the compensation he gave me back. I didn't know he was this kind of person before. Harry sliced an apple for me. He'd quit his job at the securities firm and was taking over his dad's company. Don't mind him, Harry said. I always knew he wasn't any good. Leo came to my school and cornered me, bringing his parents along. Upon meeting, they started cursing me. You little hussy, you cheated, tricked our son into divorce, and took all his money. Now he's sick and can't afford treatment. Give back the money, or I'll make sure you lose your job. Someone started recording on their phone. I cried and asked Leo, is this what you told your parents? Leo, with a cold expression, demanded, sell the house. Pay me back. I need the money. Don't give me excuses. Disappointed, I shook my head. You cheated on me and now falsely accuse me? You just exploited my love to get your way. His mom shoved me against a wall. Clutching my stomach, I slowly sat down. The ambulance arrived quickly. I cried out, holding my belly. The police came too. The three of them got detained. In the end, through police mediation, they agreed to pay me $2,000, settling the matter privately. Sitting in the car, Harry glared coldly at Leo. If you ever touch her again, I won't be nice. Leo, desperate, with teary eyes, pleaded, Rena, I was wrong. Please, we can split the money. I need it for the treatment. I sighed, how much is it per shot? $700,000 for one shot, once a month. I looked at him with pity. He did earn quite a bit, but this was too much. After hesitating for a while, I finally said, then go ahead and sue me. By the time the case was over, he might not be around anymore. Harry got back in the car while Leo was still shouting, Rena, you can't do this to me. You can't, you used to be the sweetest. I decided to show a bit of compassion. Leo, you're just too anxious, thinking isn't clear. Really think about it. How much money can you get from me? You know so many wealthy people, your focus shouldn't be on me. I sincerely suggested, host a few parties, collect some cash gifts. It'll get you by for a while. I shook my head. Maybe plan your own funeral first. The car drove off. Once home, I requested leave to rest. After about a day, Harry and I received an electronic invitation. It was for Leo's divorce celebration. The headline read, Twice Divorced Man's Midlife Struggle. Harry laughed and sent over $10,000. He wrote, My heart aches for your story, but I love your wife. I also sent some cash as a gift. My note read, I'm not like Tina, leaving after finding out you're sick. If I had known sooner, I wouldn't have left. But what can I do? Life moves on. I have a new beginning. Don't be sad or upset because of me, because it truly breaks my heart. On our wedding day, he held another event. Harry and I were busy. He sent more money. He typed for a while, but didn't send a message. My marriage was leaked. Apparently, Tina told Harry's parents. His parents glared at me and Harry, clearly upset. I bit my lip, apologizing, I'm sorry. If you can't accept me, I can leave. Harry chimed in, Mom, Dad, I'm sorry. I'm into men. I've been lying to everyone. My marriage to Rena was a sham. His parents sat down in shock, exchanged a look, and yelled, What nonsense are you talking about? His mom added, Doesn't matter if you get a divorce, it shows you're in demand. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief and called security to kick Tina out. After the wedding, I asked Maria to help me make a PowerPoint. I sent it to Tina's colleagues and posted it online. Using Leo's name, I accused Tina of pursuing him tirelessly, dumping him when she discovered he had a terminal illness, and aborting his only child. People on Facebook were eating up the story and soon sympathized with me, the victim, especially since I almost had a miscarriage. Tina got fired. Leo's reputation was trashed. But he was genuinely talented and smart. With the buzz going, he started live streaming to sell stuff. When I gave birth, Leo came to see me. He looked great, said he had used some special injections. He was back to his old charming self, even brought a new girlfriend along. Then he said, Rena, I think we should get a paternity test for the baby, just in case it's mine. Harry's hand froze while changing the baby's diaper. My smile also froze. He said confidently, Am I wrong to ask? I had already done a paternity test ages ago, even before the kid was born. If it wasn't Harry's, would he have married me so easily? Leo's face turned pale for a moment. He exclaimed in disbelief, The kid was full term. You two were involved in July, and we got divorced in September. Pointing a shaky finger at me, he said, And you have the nerve to say I cheated? I didn't cheat. Harry wasn't a mistress. I insisted, it was true love between us. Leo fainted from rage. We were clearly meant to be, both equally naive. 6 months later, Leo passed away. I lit a candle for him in silence. Epilogue. Harry was infatuated with Rena from the moment he saw her. He realized she liked him too, but she wasn't easy to snare. She only loosened up when he told her Leo was cheating. He initially just wanted a fling, but she ended up pregnant. So, he accepted it. Besides, this woman was mad and ruthless. If he didn't agree, who knows what she'd pull. And anyway, she turned out to be a good wife and mom, managing the house perfectly. Though she gave off mistress vibes, she could act cute, feign innocence, cry. Looked good too, carrying herself well in public. He accepted his fate. Mostly, having a kid seemed intriguing. They muddled along. Harry had lots of women trying to tempt him, but he seemed worn out from playing around. Rena said her previous marriage failed because Leo was giving his attention to other women. So, for their second marriage to work, he had to meet her needs every night. Every night. Even if he was on meds. Her friend Maria got meds from somewhere after taking them. He felt drained. Forget about other women, he couldn't even manage waking up properly. One day, he looked in the mirror. Rena was looking refreshed, seeming well taken care of. He himself resembled a ghost. Rena caught him looking, leaned in closer with a suggestive tone, batting her eyes. Want more? His legs went weak. He quickly shook his head. But she already had him by the handles. He felt forced again. Seems like there are exhausted bulls, but no worn-out fields. Thankfully, she got pregnant with their second. He finally got a break. Now, any sight of women made his legs weak. Why did he ever think Rena was just a cute, big-chested bunny, easy to handle, and fun? She was running him ragged. Maria visited Rena again. The two lay there, chatting and snickering wickedly. Harry felt chills. Maria's visits never meant good news. Sure enough, that night, after the baby slept, Rena beckoned, "Come here. Got a surprise for you." He stepped back. He didn't want surprises, no thrills. He just wanted to lead a peaceful life.